Thank you, Annie Bob, for that very warm and encouraging welcome. Also, thanks for saying that you can't fault CareerTrackers. We love you. I'm sure there are many things that we can get better at, and that's really in the spirit of why we are here tonight. I'd also like to acknowledge the traditional owners of this land and pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and future. Welcome, everyone, to this, our 7th annual Gala dinner. This, our largest Gala dinner, and I say that every single year, so you're probably sick of me saying that. But it's an incredibly humbling experience as the founder and CEO of this organization to think back to our first Gala dinner where we had 100 people. Tonight we have just under 2,000 people. But the question is, why are we here? Why are we here tonight? Why do we have the CEOs of 47 different organizations here? Why do we have board representation of 13 different organizations? Why do we have the owners of small businesses here tonight? And it's to celebrate. It's to celebrate the fact that over the past 7 years, CareerTrackers and our interns have worked across 99 organizations. And over those 7 years, we've seen some pretty incredible things. And every once in a while, I think as a society, we get so caught up in what we're doing that we forget to just pause and reflect and celebrate. So that's what brings us here tonight, and that's what I hope you're here for as well. CareerTrackers it's a community. It's a community that our students take incredibly seriously. It's a community that you are all a part of. There are individuals who have been here for the last 7 years. There are CEOs who make this an annual date in their calendar and come and celebrate this night with us every single year for the past 7 years. And the message that we've been talking about our students, so for those of you who don't know, we're in the middle of a 3-day leadership conference. And what I've been talking to our students about this year is this idea of Indigenous advantage. We so often talk about and we focus on Indigenous disadvantage. We so often talk about and think about closing the gap. But the challenge that I put to our students this year is, let us reflect back to when those first boat people arrived in this country, the advantage that Indigenous people had, the advantage of knowing the land, the advantage of knowing the seas, the advantage that kept this culture alive. And what we want to do as a community is get that advantage back. We want to strive to get an advantage that is going to change the way in which the everyday Australian thinks about Indigenous Australia. And how we're learning and where we're getting this from is from corporate Australia. And not just from big corporate Australia, we're also talking about small businesses. If you look at this program, which is on your table, which I apologize for the 7-point font, but this program shows the interns and those organizations who are helping give our students an advantage. And we're seeing that advantage play out in what's happening in this organization. Last year we did a social impact report. We looked at what's actually happening. Are CareerTrackers students finishing university at higher rates than non-CareerTrackers students? The answer was profoundly yes. But what we didn't realize is that CareerTrackers students are graduating university at higher rates than non-Indigenous students. Advantage. And it is up to, thank you. If you look on this sheet of paper, and sorry for 2 sheets of paper this year, but it just keeps spilling over and over. This sheet of paper, these are our alumni. These are the students who represent those that have gone before, those that are on the pathway to reclaiming that advantage. This morning I had the pleasure of witnessing another 186 students being inducted into our alumni program. Many of those are here today. Many have flown in from across the country to join us. The thing that we've learned from corporate Australia and from the private sector is this idea of sustainability. We know that government funding cycles is not going to solve this challenge. We know that government funding cycles are not going to give us the advantage. And so we set ourselves a big challenge, and that challenge was to get 10 companies to sign 10-year partnerships. That was 2 years ago. This year, we added to those partnerships the National Australia Bank, we added Bupa, we added Broad Spectrum, bringing us to 17 10-year partners. And what you're going to hear tonight is why those 10-year partnerships are important, because in our community of students, there are nearly 300 sibling groups, which means that those 10-year partnerships guarantee the pathway will be here when those younger students, when those younger siblings follow the path, go to university, get a professional job, earn a professional wage. This year, we also started working on this idea of bringing together the education sector, the university sector. We wanted to get 10 universities to sign 10-year partnerships. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done. We sat on 9 for a while. I was nervous for a while. But just recently, we signed the University of Southern Queensland as our 10th 10-year university partner. Welcome to our community. Now, this year and this last 7 years, they've inspired me so much about this nation of Australia. And it inspired me so much that I decided last year that I needed to become a citizen of this country. And what inspired me was the fact that the things that we are learning, the things that we can do as a nation, we can give to the world. And tonight with us are the founding, if you will, partners of CareerTrackers, and that is Inroads. That is the program in the United States that our motto is based off of, that has been doing this for 47 years. They are here tonight. Welcome. We're also starting to see people from around the globe look at this model and what we're doing in this community and say, how can we replicate that community? About 2 years ago, I got a phone call from a group in New Zealand, and they said, Michael, have you thought about expanding CareerTrackers to New Zealand? My answer was no. About 3 months later, they called me back. They said, Michael, can we do a social franchise? Can we pay you for your IP? I said, no. But if you come over here, we'll give you everything. We will teach you everything that we have learned, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So they sent their elders over. We sat with Auntie Barb and the elders in La Perouse. We exchanged culture, we exchanged knowledge. This year, that organization launched called Topu Tau. They've got 29 interns in their first year. We've got some of those interns and representatives from that organization here tonight. Welcome. And for those of you who know me, I'm not a very patient person. I get bored easily. So I sat and thought, and I listened to, time and time again, I would go and meet with CEOs and heads of HR, and they would say to me, Michael, we want the best talent. And we don't necessarily care, but we do care, but we don't care where that talent comes from. And I thought, well, hang on a minute. We've awoken the talent of young Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders, and we have taken corporate Australia by storm. We have found this wealth of knowledge, and we have brought it to life. We've helped foster it to life. My question then is, well, can we do that for other pockets of disadvantage? Can we find other communities that live in disadvantage and give them an advantage? And so separate to CareerTrackers, I started an organization called Career Seekers, which is working with asylum seekers and refugees. In the first year of that program, we thought we would have 20 interns. We have just under 100. We have 30 of them here with us tonight. Welcome. And I want to leave you with this, one of the things that I learned this week. We've had 5 elders from across Australia come and be with us this week. And they sat on a panel and they gave us all this really great wisdom. One of those elders is sitting on this table 7. She's staring at you, Adam Goods, all night. She should be staring at me, Aunt. Careful, Adam. She's from Tumut. But one of those aunties, Auntie Flo, she was telling the students a story about a workshop that she was sitting in. And she told the story of this old lady who sat there very quiet in this workshop. She didn't share much. And finally, one of the other ladies said to her, "Aunt, have you got something you'd like to say?" And she just rattled off the most beautiful wisdom to this group. And afterwards, Auntie Flo said to that old lady, "Thank you so much for giving us that wisdom." And that lady gave Auntie Flo a card with a message on it. And Auntie Flo told our group that she carries that around with her every single day. So I had breakfast with Auntie Flo yesterday, and I thought I'd test her. "Auntie Flo, can I see that card?" Of course. She pulls it out. This is what it says on the card. "We are more of who we are because of the connections that we have made." And I think that that is exactly what this community is about. And that is exactly what tonight is about. So at your tables, you're going to see empty seats at your tables. That's deliberate. And it's deliberate because it is our expectations that our interns are going to get up throughout the night, and our CEOs are going to get up throughout tonight, and the chairs of boards are going to get up throughout tonight, and their managers are going to get up throughout tonight, and they're going to go and meet people, and they're going to go and connect with people. And our interns are going to watch businesses do business with each other. And our interns are going to go and make connections with each other that are going to give them the advantage. Thank you.